afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Increased security presence at Integrity Commission office over planned protests. Flash flood watch still in effect for Jamaica. And later in sports, done behold and surprised by resignation of coach Philip Williams. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pula and here are the details. There was increased security presence at the office of the Integrity Commission in New Kingston this morning. TVJ News was reliably informed of a planned protest against the agency from a social media post. Communications officer at the Integrity Commission, Nasetta Stewart, confirmed the reports. She says in an effort to keep its staff safe, more private security guards were on location. When our news team arrived, we were told that 8 people were grouped outside at the office sometime around 9:30, 2 of whom were wearing green shirts. The handful of people soon dispersed. Another private security company was there in an unrelated matter. A flash flood watch is still in effect for Jamaica until 5 p.m. today. Jamaicans are being urged to exercise caution. Meanwhile, the National Works Agency Communication Officer Natalie Bloomfield says damage to the road network has been minor. She was speaking on Power 106's Morning Agenda.
In Green Park, along the Green Park to St. Anne's Bay roadway, but the road was still passable. It was single lane. And we had some issues in the Backlog Gorge. We had a blocked critical drain, so there was some amount of flooding. And we had fallen trees or shrubbery along other sections of the Backlog Gorge, but those were also passable. And we have since been able to clear the fallen tree and the shrubs, and the water would have receded.
She also said the government's post-hurricane mitigation program is now fully implemented in all 14 parishes, as well as Portmore in St. Catherine.
At present, one parish has already completed all of the work that they had to do as it relates to the cleanup of the roadways. So this work would
Which parish is that?
Portland.
Okay.
So this work would have included the reopening of the roadways and the cleaning and clearing of drains. In the other 13 parishes that are going on, we have one that is at least 90% complete and 2 others that are over 60% complete. So work has been going on. The work started in earnest in mid-August.
We take a break. More local stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is getting a major technology boost, paving the way for effective use of body-worn cameras. This move is part of the JCF's broader strategy to modernize policing through technology-driven transformations. The details in this report.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force's technology boost is valued at some 7 billion Jamaican dollars. This investment will now make body-worn cameras a reality for its members. With that, Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake announced that 1,000 more body cams are on the way. But speaking at the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry's monthly meeting, Dr. Blake says legislative changes are needed to implement this feature.
When we started first, we made a mistake. We just pin some body-worn cameras on persons and have some computers where we download the things on and stuff like that. That's a nightmare. That's a nightmare. You have videos, disparate videos across various different computers, and if one of those goes down, then you lose everything. When it is needed for court, you hear that boy, police had it and then destroyed some most corruption. And so we have to be smart in how we implement body-worn cameras.
Dr. Blake further explained that the JCF deliberately took a measured approach to rolling out body-worn cameras rather than rushing to meet public pressure.
You see, if we were taking a knee-jerk approach, then we would abandon what is right. And buy a whole lot of body-worn cameras. Pinning a body-worn camera on a policeman is the easy part. Buying it and pinning it is the easy part. Building the infrastructure to manage that data, right? Building the procedure, the policies around it and all of that is the difficult part. And that's what we have been doing along. So rest assured, we need body-worn camera more than how you want us to have body-worn cameras.
The police commissioner also told business people that the cameras will be able to stream live.
Post body cam on us, none. Bodycam was not something that we decided. We undertook the implementation of body-worn cameras, and we did it not for the reason that many persons are here talking about bodycam. We did it. We always tell our police officers, when you're out there working and you don't have a camera, you may be the only one not videoing the incident from your perspective. And so we do that not just for the integrity, but more so for the protection of our officers.
Carrie Simpson, TVJ News.
The Transport Authority says it continues to intensify operations to address the issue of illegal public transport operators as part of efforts to enforce the new Road Traffic Act, which the Traffic and Highway Division carried out as special operations in St. Thomas.
From time to time, we have issues where, people complain about the dark vehicles that are transporting school children. So we have embarked on a situation where we are paying attention to those vehicles.
Drivers are urged to cooperate with the police and the Transport Authority.
Ask them if they can do the right thing. See if they can do the right thing, because if you do the right thing, I think it would be better.
The law requires that vehicles should be tinted. Public passenger vehicles should be tinted with 30% or less. But some of these vehicles that we have stopped and prosecuted this morning are heavily tinted. They would have had way beyond 30%. Some of these vehicles are so tinted that you cannot see inside the vehicles. So I'm embarking on owners and operators today that the law states one thing, and we wish to have this operation continued, where members of the public who operate public passenger vehicle know that the law says 30% and you stick to the 30%. Anything above that, you will be prosecuted.
New approaches to financing global health after one of the most brutal healthcare setbacks. That's one of the areas of focus today at the UN General Assembly. Romardo Lyons reports.
The world is paying very close attention to potential threats to health. This vigilance follows the COVID-19 pandemic, which claimed the lives of over 3,500 people locally and over 7 million people across the world. That's why the World Health Organization wants more investments in healthcare.
Without a strong vehicle, which is the primary healthcare, you cannot really succeed. And the good thing about investing in primary healthcare is it brings almost everything together.
He said there are several health threats and pointed specifically to HIV and Mpox. Jamaica's country director for UN AIDS said because of stigma, 35 to 40% of Jamaicans who show up at clinics for treatment for HIV do so very late.
That is a bit surprising because government is paying for these drugs. Government is investing into antiretroviral drugs and making it available in the hospitals, in some civil society clinics like JASL, and also in some private facilities. And so the medications are available.
And this was Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton in August on Mpox.
This is to bring to the forefront of our minds the precautions and interventions necessary should the virus re-enter Jamaica. And notice I say re-enter because we've had before.
So both have been on Jamaica's radar. Meanwhile, the EIB has donated £10 million to the WHO. This will help 15 countries identified as part of Phase 1 of the Health Impact Investment Platform.
One of the key issues that we will be talking about in this General Assembly is health. Investing in health is investing in communities, is investing in our present and our future. And where can we find more impact than partnering with the WHO and other multilateral development institutions to make a difference?
The United Nations says the initiative supports the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
The Malvern Health Centre in St. Elizabeth is now reopened to the public. This comes after a massive $54 million upgrade to the facility. It was done through the Ministry of Health Operation Refresh program.
If we look at the monies that have been spent, if we look at the brick and mortar that has been put into the ground, if we look at the additional services that are being offered at the primary level, not talking, although I could say it similarly at the secondary level. If we look at the quality of the facilities, if we look at the number of doctors and nurses that have been deployed and made permanent under compensation review, the number of community health aides that have been added, near about 2,200 permanent in the system, which gives them job security, and of course, motivation to do more and to invest in the profession. All of those things have been done.
This is part of the ministry's efforts to strengthen primary health care and ease the burden on hospitals.
We don't want people to pass who live in Malvern, walk or drive past Malvern Health Centre and go all the way down to Black River because them no respect or rate when them see from the gate. Because we have good doctors and nurses. But the first impression is what influences people's behavior. The services that we offer starts with the appearance of those facilities that offer the services. So we're trying to restore, improve, put back maximum credibility in our primary healthcare facilities.
The St. James Municipal Corporation is reporting improvements in garbage collection in the parish. It comes following complaints from councillors in the parish about the poor garbage collection by the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA. At the recent monthly meeting, the NSWMA shared details of work that has been done.
We had 83 backlogs, 83 districts in backlog. In July, it was reduced to 55. Of course, there was an injection of new units into our operation, and so in August we only had 5 districts in backlog. We are working assiduously to bring the parish to 0 backlog.
She says with more garbage trucks in the system, the agency is now able to improve garbage collection. She's also urging councillors to get communities on board to participate in its plastic separation program.
In August also, we removed 1,568 pounds of plastic bottles from the Canterbury, William Street, Love Lane area. And so councillors, I want to encourage you to get your communities also on board. And the Canterbury area has been a fine example that we can participate in plastic separation. The plastic does not come to the retirement disposal site, rather it is given to recycling partners of Jamaica.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Knotford Express Services is terminating its international e-commerce shipping service. The listed company made the announcement on Monday, saying it would take effect October 7 this year. Knotford Express says the decision was made as it faced challenges which affected its ability to smoothly deliver the service to clients. The company started offering international courier and e-commerce shipping to Jamaica in 2021. Knotford Express told customers that packages sent to its U.S. location on or after October 7 will be returned to the sending address. For its financial year ended May 2024, Knotford Express made $5.2 million in revenue from the service. This was down from $5.79 million made for 2022-2023. Further afield, California is suing ExxonMobil, alleging the company carried out a, quote, decades-long campaign of deception, end quote, and misled the public on the merits of plastic recycling. The lawsuit is the first in the country to take on a fossil fuel company in its messaging around plastic recycling. The suit accuses ExxonMobil of using slick marketing and misleading public statements to claim recycling was an effective way to deal with plastic pollution. The case seeks to compel the oil and gas giant to, quote, end its deceptive practices that threaten the environment and the public, end quote. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Ann Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Trinidad and Tobago has formally established diplomatic relations with the State of Palestine. The joint communique was signed at the Permanent Mission of Trinidad and Tobago to the United Nations in New York on Sunday. A release from the Foreign Affairs Ministry says the agreement is a follow-up to the Twin Island Republic's recognition of the State of Palestine in May this year. The ministry says the move is rooted in the ongoing commitment of Trinidad and Tobago at both the regional and multilateral levels to contribute to international peace and security. On the international scene, a hurricane watch has been issued for Florida's Gulf Coast ahead of potential tropical cyclone 9. The storm is forecast to become Tropical Storm Helene later Tuesday before rapidly intensifying to a hurricane as it enters the Gulf of Mexico. The National Hurricane forecasts landfall as a Category 3 storm between Tampa and Panama City, Florida, either late Thursday or early Friday morning. Model guidance indicates the system will become quite large and powerful before landfall. The official forecast calls for Helene to remain a tropical storm as it moves into central Georgia Friday morning. And Israeli military says it has conducted a targeted strike in Lebanon's capital Beirut. Details are still emerging. Meanwhile, Lebanon's health ministry says 558 people have been killed, including 50 children in Israeli strikes since Monday. Thousands of people are fleeing southern Lebanon with families crammed into cars and gridlocked traffic on the road to Beirut. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Kelisha Williams.
Thank you, Kelisha. We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.